Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Wargo, a former intern at Miracle League of Arizona, and I'm currently a host of Up on Deck. And this is kind of like a collaboration between Up on Deck and Miracle League of Arizona. And I am pleased to be joined by JP, also
Yep.
known as Swamp Donkey. Now,
Good.
it has been quite a week for you. You won a trophy, if you want to show that off, the Home
Yes,
Run
sir.
Derby trophy.
Three-peat. The three-peat.
Three. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. The first question I have for you before we talk about the home run derby is, of course, Miracle League of Arizona. What got you into Miracle League of Arizona, and why do you like to come back every season?
Well, I started in 2017. A friend told me about the Miracle League, and I went there and I thought I was gonna make some friends and stuff. And I loved playing baseball. I've been playing since when I was little in Colorado, and I've been enjoying it. And coming back every year, I just love meeting new people. The buddies are incredible. Highly recommend going.
Yeah, and you're also a buddy yourself. You like to, show up kind of, I think, from like 11, 12 o'clock, and then from there on, you get to be your own volunteer. How has volunteering helped you become a better person and to just not only that, but just get better at baseball because you're playing with them?
Well, I learned some new skills and I get to know people in Miracle League and learning their swing so I could get better every single day.
And you use metal bats in the competitive leagues. Of course, you play
Correct.
3 innings. How have the metal bats been? I mean, I know you're a hitter. You've hit a lot of swamp donkeys over the fence,
Oh
but
yeah.
I mean, that's all power. How were you able to just connect every single time with a metal bat?
It's all thanks to my dad helping me develop into the best baseball player I can be.
And not only that, but that's really cool. I remember one time you hit a home run, and it was on the roof. And remember the building, the offices, you hit it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that
yeah.
roof.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was the 2021 home run der 2024, excuse me, of the home run derby and I got it on the roof to win that derby. Here's that trophy for that one.
So that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
That was
correct.
2 years ago. And then if you want, you can show us more of your trophy case. Of course, you got a trophy
This
recently.
was my first ever home run derby title for
Great
like
job.
the non-competitive, and then I evolved into the competitive league.
And how was that transition from going from the non-competitive to the competitive league? What was kind of a challenge, or what was the diversity that you had to face?
Well, I didn't know we had to use metal bats, but I got the feel of it, and then swamp donkeys have been born.
And and okay, I know there's a video out there. I might actually display it.
They're not playing in the jackets, are they? Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Oh, what is this?
Oh!
What is this?
They've unveiled their alternate jerseys.
Alternate jerseys. What do we got here?
These, you guys, are their alternate jerseys. They're the only team to get 3 jerseys in 2 different seasons. They say Swamp Donkeys on them. That's what they call home runs
That's
here
a
in the
home
warehouse.
run. That's right. Swamp
They will
Donkeys.
wear these when they bat, and they will change when they pitch back into their normal jerseys.
That ball is raked, and we got ice, also known as the Swamp Donkeys, are on the board.
In that video, why did you get the name Swamp Donkey?
Well, I've seen videos of people calling home runs swamp donkeys, and that got me thinking, ooh, that's a cool name for home runs. So I kept using it all the time, and I love using the term swamp donkey.
And, I mean, that's really cool, especially the fact that it gives you confidence at the plate all the time. I think the fans also caught on to it. The Swamp Donkey, of course, I interviewed you in the outfield. That was the first time I mentioned. I called
Yeah.
you out for being Swamp Donkey, if you remember that.
Oh
That was,
yes, I
I
do
think
remember that.
that was in the fall. But yeah, going on to not only just the home run derby, but the All-Star game now. How was the All-Star game and how was the home run derby? How has this weekend been to you?
It's been very special. My dad and my some of my siblings came to my All-Star game and home run derby, and they were cheering for me on. And I've just been blessed to have some amazing siblings, and I have 8 siblings currently. and they've been a blessing in my life.
And before getting into Miracle League of Arizona, what were you playing recreation baseball? Was there anything that you were doing growing up?
Yeah, I was playing t-ball in San Diego and Colorado when I was really little, and I loved playing baseball.
You probably really like the weather as well. The weather over there was probably amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So that's really cool. Now you're in the heat. Now I remember the last time we were, well, I went last time when I was interning, and I remember when I was doing your game. Of course, you play the Angels all the time. It was you were on the
Yeah.
Rangers this past season, and you played the Angels. How have you been dealing with the heat? Because I know in the fall it was very cold at night, and then
Yeah.
out of nowhere it'd be like a warm sunny day, and it's like blazing 100 degrees. So how are you able to deal with the weather?
Yeah, the weather is a big factor. If it's like hot, it just affects me sometimes with my swinging or fielding because it's really hot. But in the fall, I enjoy it, so I get more swamp donkeys in the fall.
And what helps you make more hit more swamp donkeys is the fact that you have tape on your bat. And
Yeah.
if you didn't have tape on your bat, you wouldn't be able to hold the baseball bat. I wouldn't either. You wouldn't either.
Yeah,
And
I'll just fling it out of the stands into the stands.
and that's happened before. So of course, that's a highly anticipated matchup. I would consider your two games kind of a main event if I were to say, because
Yeah, I agree.
last game of the day. And how was your season? How did you end your season?
Well, I had my final baseball game. We unfortunately lost, but we got some minor league Dodgers came to our game, and I got to hit a granny, a grand slam, and it was one of the best feelings ever.
So minor league Dodgers, okay, that interests me because it's a minor league baseball show. What we can transition to this, but what players were there?
Just I don't remember like the names of them, but they were amazing buddies for us, motivating us. And I did the Freddie Freeman bat flip, if you know what I'm talking
Yep.
about, in the World Series. And I did that for them, and they were hyped.
That's awesome. I mean, not only that, but remember when the Savannah Bananas came? So we've done Miracle League of Arizona, we've also done a collaboration with the Savannah Bananas
Well,
and
that's bananas.
and I think see it was unfortunate because I think you were there when they were there. You were there their last game, right?
Yeah,
So, because they left, I think at like a 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I remember your game was at, I think, 5 or 6. So
yeah, five
there's a bit of
o'clock.
a time difference between when they were there and when you were there. Were you at least got to see them? And how was that experience?
I did not unfortunately get to see them, but I love watching the Savannah Bananas because they are bananas.
They are, and they start doing like their dance, like, hey.
Yeah, with the party animals, so fun to watch.
And it was really cool when they came to Miracle League of Arizona because they were doing, I think, they were doing something, I think, in I don't know where, but they were doing like I think it was at one of the spring training stadiums around here. They were doing a really
Yeah.
cool like collaboration with MLB and like their ballparks. But like when they came, I mean, the first thing they did was they started dancing on the mound and stuff. They started, and it was really cool
Yeah,
because
one of my friends, Zach Wagner, did a home run against one of the Savannah Bananas.
and Zach Wagner, he was on ESPN.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that's actually really cool because I
The
remember
goal is to get there.
he would get there and he would like flex and he would
Yeah,
like
do the missile.
yeah, I love when the fans get involved. And speaking of the fans, what does the fans in attendance mean to you, and how does that give you momentum to hitting more swamp donkeys?
They give me confidence and build up for my next at bat, and I have so much support from my siblings, grandparents, and a lot of special people in my life, including you, Tyler.
Thank you, JP. Thank you, JP. I remember also there's another, J-Man, Jordan. I remember I interviewed him as well, and he was also in the home run derby. How did he do?
He did pretty well. He got, I think, I'm not totally sure, 20. I'm not totally sure, but he did well.
And okay, so now we're gonna shift over to minor league baseball now. Of
All
course,
right.
you told me before the Zoom meeting, you were like, "Oh, all these minor league baseball teams have crazy names." So if you had to talk about crazy names, what's the craziest name that I think you came across in minor league baseball?
It's between these three, the Bathtub Donkeys, or the New Hampshire Space Potato, or the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
The Rocket City Trash Pandas were trash back in the day, but now they're good because they're the Angels.
Yeah, what happens if they win the championship? They're trash?
I guess they're just going to consider them the Pandas, the Rocket City Pandas instead of trash. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the name is definitely weird, but I would definitely say that the logo is really cool
Yeah, it is.
because it's a panda like on a rocket going through the trash.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like it's like a garbage bin.
Yeah, it
But
is very weird.
yeah, it is funny because the Angels don't really have the best farm system right now in baseball. And of course,
Yeah.
because they're calling all their guys up. The only times that the Rocket City Trash Pandas are good is when they have guys on rehab assignments playing for them, like Caden Dana,
Yeah.
the starting pitcher for the Angels. He was on their team. You know what's a crazy name? I don't think you've heard about it.
Oh boy, hit me.
I think it's the High A team. They play in Kannapolis. It's called the Kannapolis Cannonballers.
Oh my gosh, that is weird.
And they have a guy going, it's literally a guy, like an old man. Do you watch Regular Show?
No, I've never heard of that.
So Regular Show is a cool Cartoon Network show that had a guy named Pops. And he had like a big round head. He was an old guy. And that's what he looks like. He was a skinny body guy with a big head, a big round head. It was like a carnival. He's being shot out of a rocket. And it's called the Cannonballers.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, that's so weird.
so that New Hampshire team that you mentioned, that's the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, the double A of the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And I actually have their hat. I was wearing their hat today, but yeah, a lot of weird names.
Yeah, I love the weirdness.
Yeah, and that's what makes minor league baseball fun. Now, going with the weirdness comes a mascot, right? If you
Yeah.
had to choose, and you can go to Major League Baseball, I'll expand. What's your favorite mascot?
My favorite mascot's Baxter, the Diamondbacks mascot. I got to meet him. He's like autographing. Sometimes I wasn't a Diamondback fan back in the day because they were not so good, but I would always wear opposing team's uniform and always get the funniest reactions from Baxter.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Baxter's very energetic until you show him an opposing team, then he'll like spaz out. He'll be like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, so
Yeah.
how was that interaction with Baxter when you showed the opposing jersey?
Oh, he just laughs and trying to give me a little punch sometimes. He's pretty goofy.
Another weird mascot, and this is kind of off topic to minor league baseball, but
Don't hit me.
why? And look, I lived in Connecticut my whole life before moving out to Arizona, and I never understood why the Suns have a gorilla as a mascot.
Yeah, I don't get that. But I met the gorilla at my job. I work at Fry's Marketplace, the one on 90th. And I was on carts on the first time of my shift, and I got to see the gorilla. I got to do a selfie with him. It was pretty cool.
And he must be hot in that. I mean,
It
imagine being a
was.
gorilla outfit in a parking lot. I mean, I would be like sweating, you know?
Yeah.
And then of course, can't forget about Homer the mascot.
Yeah, Homer's awesome.
And it's cool seeing Homer the one thing that stood out to me was the Fiesta Bowl. So long time back, Miracle League did a collaboration with the Fiesta Bowl, and they
Yeah.
had tons of mascots go there. And we saw the gorilla mascot, Baxter, Miracle League of Air. We saw Homer. Homer got along with the mascots here pretty well. I'm not too sure about how he would get along with the other mascots outside of Arizona, but yeah, it's
Right.
really cool seeing Homer come out to the games and yeah, you got in your picture taken with Homer, right?
Yeah, I got to take pictures with Homer, and I'm the scorekeeper for my Desert Mountain baseball program, and it's really rewarding. And I'm also the water boy for Desert Mountain High School, and I'm coming back next year to be doing that. It's
That's
really
awesome.
fun.
That's awesome. And you were the water boy as well.
Yes.
And how was so yeah, going switching gears to Desert Mountain High School, what was the one thing that you like doing in support of the football team, of the baseball team? What was something that kept you showing up every day to show your love for the players?
I just love helping out the football team, getting them hyped. Same with the baseball team. I love hyping them up, and I get to run on the giant wolf head at the football home games, and it's so fun. And I
Do you ever
love
get to
it.
carry a flag or
Yeah, and I carry the flag. It's so fun.
that's awesome. And you guys are the Wolves, right? So
Yes.
what's the mascot? Because I'm from Connecticut. I'm still new to these high schools around the valley.
Yeah.
What's the mascot?
So we're the Wolves, and it's like a really fun, energetic mascot, and we've done really well these past 4 years. I started being the water boy sophomore year, and we got to uh, we've been to the semifinals twice, but unfortunately lost. But last year 2 years in a row that I've been on the water boy, we've been to open division, and we played Centennial and ALA Queen Creek, but we lost. But it was just insanely
ALA
good
Queen
game.
Creek is a tough team. I remember they were really good at baseball. I know Saguaro is good at baseball as well because like for my sports videography class, I go out to different
Yeah,
high schools in the valley. And one of the games I did was it was Notre Dame Prep, the Saints,
yeah,
and they're in the same division I think as Desert Mountain, and I saw them play. And
yeah.
Desert Mountain got some great players on their team. I mean, from pitching to at the plate. If you had to, I know this is. I don't know if I should throw you this question, but like, what's like any players that you like to shout out that you know?
I'd like to shout out Dylan Tapley, Dylan Hip, Santana Wilson, Christian Sandoval, Johnny M. Shanowski, Jake Tomarone, Luke Green, Zach Durbin, and they're all special to me in my hearts.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
Ancient Dom Harris.
Dom Harris, awesome. That's great to see. That's great to hear. And now they show up to Miracle League games too, because I saw on your story that they were kind of they mentioned you in their story.
Yeah, and I'm a big part on Instagram. If you want to follow me, it's John Paul Ever.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool to see. I mean, the fact that, I would go out these high schools and cover the high school sports, and you would do the Miracle League of Arizona.
Yeah.
You're gonna be what, a junior in the next
I'm
seven?
a senior right now and I graduate in 19 days.
Okay, wow, you graduate in 19 days. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're gonna come out to Miracle League. How many seasons do you have left in you?
I'm gonna keep going until I'm 1,000 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could play baseball for that long. Of course, I played a lot of Parks and Rec baseball, but that's the thing. It's a very competitive nature. I mean, in your league, it's very competitive. When you play against the Angels, they bring the fight. Because
Yeah.
I trader. I was remember I was coaching the Angels.
Boo.
I was coaching the Angels side, and I remember Miko was kind of he was kind of like your rival because he was hitting
Yeah.
runs just as much as you.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were both hitting the equal amount of home runs, but I
Yeah.
mean, you guys would just, first of all, the stance is great. We like the stance that we see.
Yeah.
And just the power that we saw from those hits. I mean, every single hit was either over the wall or was a ground rule double, you
Yeah.
know? And then you usually, if you were to, all right, minus the home runs, if you had to hit any ball off the wall or a line drive, what base are you taking?
I
Third,
would
second,
take
first?
uh, I would take any base or third so I could just get home and high five my teammates.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
and I want to shout out Gerardo Haro. He always does our lineups and positions, and he makes our team our best when it comes to game day.
and what's any volunteers that you would like to shout out as well? Because I know you were a volunteer, and I know you worked with other volunteers at Miracle League of Arizona. Anybody want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to shout out Valley Christian High School. I got to throw out the first pitch with to them. They invited me out to a game, and I got to throw out the first pitch, and they gave me a jersey, and I was like blessed, and they gave me like some Skittles. That's my favorite candy, and I got 8 share packs of the Skittles, and it's my favorite candy of all time.
I like Skittles too. Mike and Ike's is my favorite though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not as much as it's not as common as Skittles. I know everyone likes Skittles, but all right, last question I have. Back to the minor league baseball. If you had to go to any ballpark in the country or any state in the country that has a minor league baseball team, what baseball team would you like to go to?
Ooh. I would say the one in Ocean City with the like Ferris wheel. There's like a Ferris wheel stadium, and it has like a Ferris wheel,
So
like a beach.
so that's I think Brooklyn Cyclones. That's in New York. They play
Yeah, the
right
Brooklyn
next to Coney
Cyclones.
Island. So the Brooklyn Cyclones, they're affiliated to the New York Mets. They play right on the beach. There's a cool Ferris wheel. There's a cool roller
Yeah, that's what I'm
coaster.
talking about.
So you would love to go to a Brooklyn Cyclones game. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Fun fact, in the Spider-Man game, I think remember that newest Spider-Man game that came out? It wasn't
Yeah,
Miles
yeah, yeah.
Morales. It was the one before that. Oh
Yeah.
no, it was I don't know. It was one of those Spider-Man movies. Or that games. In those video games, you can actually go to that stadium because it's in New York.
Yeah.
So you can go there as Peter Parker and like run around the bases and you'll get like a trophy. It was a
Oh,
cool
that's funny.
Easter egg that they
That's
put in the
awesome.
game. Yeah. Another ballpark that's kind of similar. It's in the woods though. It's Altoona. So Altoona Curve, they're the affiliate of I think the Pittsburgh Pirates. They had an amusement park in their background as well. And it's really cool because minor league ballparks are designed not to be too big, right? They're
Right.
designed to be kind of like a smaller stadium, more localized ballpark, but they're very creative with what they do. I mean, some of the stuff you see at a minor league baseball ballpark, you won't even see at Chase Field sometimes.
Right.
So now, last question, MLB now. Favorite ballpark?
Favorite ballpark has got to be, I would say my top three is Coors Field, Chase Field, and the New York Mets Stadium. And
You
I've
like the
been to
Mets.
those, and I've been to those ballparks before.
And how do you like Citi Field? Of course, all the way out in New York. Anything you like from that stadium?
Yeah, my Aunt Megan took me to the game with my brother Colby, and we got to see the Mets win and do the I got to see the Edwin Diaz Timmy trumpet. Oh my gosh, that is the chillest thing you'll ever see. Makes me have chills.
I was at that game.
No, you weren't. That's
I got there. They're against the Dodgers, right?
no, it was against I think the Phillies. I'm not totally
I think
sure.
it was the Dodgers because that was when they. So when I went to the Mets game, it was in 2022 because
Yeah,
I live in Connecticut. The closest ballpark to where I lived back in Connecticut was Citi Field. Like I lived about an hour and a half away from Citi Field,
yeah,
and we would go to the ballpark. We would go to Citi Field every summer, maybe like twice a year. We'd go, and the first time we saw Edwin Diaz close the game, it was they did like the trumpet. They had Timmy the Trumpet actually, have the
yeah.
trumpet.
That gives me chills.
And then like the lights go out, lights are
Yeah,
flashing, and then we got Mr. Met, Mrs. Met dancing to it. They also got trumpets as well.
yeah,
That I went the first time they actually debuted Timmy the Trumpet.
yeah. That just gives me chills.
That's awesome. I'm glad you really went there because that's an experience.
Yeah, I would never forget that.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to Up on Deck in our collaboration with Miracle League of Arizona and joining us by JP, also known as Swamp Donkey. Swamp Donkey, JP, any last words you want to say?
Come out to Miracle League of Arizona in the fall, winter, or spring to see me hit some home swamp donkeys and at 5 p.m. or come volunteering. The volunteering is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Highly recommend going and swamp donkeys for life.
Swamp Donkeys for life. He'll be hitting them when he comes back in the following fall. So yes, JP Swamp Donkey, thank you for joining us on Up on Deck. Hopefully you have a good day, and we'll see you on the field.
See you on the field.
Take care, JP.
Take care.